All right, we're back. It's Pit to Podium. It's Formula One season once again. Today is March the 10th of 2025, and the Australian Grand Prix is just 3 days away. Welcome back.
Whoa.
Season 2 of Pit to Podium. I'm your host
boys.
still, and we have a little bit of a change here. It is me. I'm Andrew. I'm alongside Trey.
What's up, everybody?
We are in the studio right now. Sam cannot be here because he's being a really, really big boy. He has a really big producer job at the Mountaineer Playbook class. So he's working really tirelessly with that. He is at Martin Hall as we speak. And right now, Mr. Mark Altman is at the Altman household in Virginia. He is over call. We have jerry-rigged the everything here. Not actually, but Mark, say hello. Say hello to the people.
Bit of a trip not being in the studio with y'all, but I think we're doing all right. I think we're doing good.
Yeah, so I have him here on my laptop, and Trey is right across from me, but we're gonna get this going. How are we doing? It's been a while. Winter break has been it's been 3 months, and our last episode was just a few months ago, and honestly, because Sam is doing Playbook, Mark has graduated from West Virginia University.
He's old.
Hey now, come on.
Call him Fernando Alonso.
I'll take Lewis Hamilton. Fernando Alonso in the group is more like Sam. Come on now.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we're back in the studio as it is 5:23 in the freaking PM. We're usually really, really early, but hey, right now it's not cold. 61 degrees here in Morgantown.
Most beautiful day of the year so far, I might add.
Mark, what does it feel like in Virginia, where you live?
It is a crisp 64. It
Ooh.
is a nice crisp 64.
So very, very similar to the Morgantown area.
I think I got you guys beat though. No wind.
I guess that's true. I mean, the breeze isn't too bad, but hey, for once, it's been whack for the past maybe month and a half. But it decides whether the weather is just insane right now. It's just either it doesn't know if it wants to snow or rain or just dust rain, which
West
is
Virginia in a nutshell, baby.
I guess that's true.
If you don't like the weather, wait 20 minutes.
True. So anyways, we're talking about Formula One, as I'm assuming comes to no surprise. Preseason testing was about 2 weeks ago in the Kingdom of Bahrain. That was from the 26th to the 28th of February in Bahrain, as I have just said. It's cool to see our drivers out on the track once again, but honestly, what did you guys see from preseason? Trey, we'll start with you.
To be honest, I don't really put too much stock into preseason testing because Ferrari showed up, I think it was 2020 or 2019, and was blowing everybody away, and then by the time the season started, it was the usual Mercedes domination. So I don't really put a bunch of stock into preseason testing. I mean, it was kind of how things were last year, honestly. You had McLaren and Ferrari, the top two teams, consistency-wise. Red Bull and Mercedes were behind, and then there was everybody else. Sainz looked good in the Williams. Hopefully Williams can start to move forward. We talked about that last year at the end of the year, how he could possibly bring that team back into some sort of contention, and I think he looked good. But this weekend is really when the fun begins. We got Australia this weekend. We got China and Japan, Bahrain coming up. We're going to have a stretch of races here these next few weeks, and it's really going to shake things out. And I think we're going to see pretty quickly who's the best and who's just kind of floundering mid-pack.
Mark, how about you?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Trey with a lot of this stuff where it's like you're telling me Kimi Antonelli, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're telling me he's going to be the fastest driver on the grid, and he's going to be the
I
best
mean,
guy
he
on the
may.
grid, where, hey, he could be.
He
I
could
wouldn't
be.
be mad
You
as a
never know.
Mercedes fan. But at the same time, you got to look at it with a grain of salt and just kind of accept to see where it's going. But, I mean, this winter break has also been probably one of the craziest ones, with, like, even more recent news after testing with Cadillac being approved for 2026 now. You got all these different things, and it's just, I feel like, is going to ramp up the competitiveness this season, just because you got a new team coming on the grid. You got to be ready to go. You got to be able to compete, and you got to be ahead of these guys instead of falling behind them this next upcoming season. So I feel like the teams are definitely going to put on a lot of pressure this season, just kind of going into it and just being preparing for it.
No, I definitely would agree. I mean, the preseason testing, as I said before, you like seeing the drivers back. Kind of a dress rehearsal for how the season will go. Everybody getting back into the cars. You want to see some new guys in their new uniforms, and the grid is extremely new, and we're going to talk about that later on in the segment. I have something planned for you guys later on. I'm not sure if I have told any of you about this, but I've got a little bit of a surprise for when we wrap up the episode here in about however long we'll record for. But I did want to get this episode out before the season went underway. Technically, it is underway after preseason testing, but as we said, it's preseason testing. It's cool, like I said, but it has no real weight. It's just it's a way for the teams to figure out if their cars actually work. And that's just how that is. And as Trace,
unless you're Williams in 2019 or 20, whichever one that was.
True. But yeah, as Trey said very, very expertly, Australia is where the fun begins. That is where I think the season really truly starts. And let's talk about that real quick. Australia, as it always, or for as long as I can remember, it usually starts there. 3 days, 4 hours, and 1 minute at the current time of recording this is when the lights will go out on FP1, the first practice of the season, the 2025 season. Right now, it's so hard to get a gauge of how well teams will actually go. Just because preseason testing doesn't tell us anything. Trey brought up, was it 2019?
Yeah, 2019 Ferrari.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was 2019. But when they blew everybody away, and then you got to the first race, and Valtteri Bottas just wiped the floor with everybody, and it was just continued Lewis Hamilton wins.
True, and I think
best fans in the world.
I think Mark would be very happy with that. I just sort of realized that this broadcast is much like the Pat McAfee show.
Wide.
What?
Because we've got everyone here in the studio. Well, not everyone, but a half of the staff here at the studio, and then the rest on virtual.
Mark AJ Hawk Altman.
Mark AJ Hawk.
We are in the U92 Thunderdome.
Hello, beautiful people. It's Monday, on this magical Monday. Formula One is back.
Overreaction Monday.
Overreaction Monday. Fernando Alonso is going to win it all. Aston Martin has Adrian Newey at the helm. They made a rocket ship of a car. And they're going to go out.
Still driving it.
And they still have Lance Stroll in a seat because he's never going away. And if Lance Stroll goes away, it's going to be when Aston Martin sells the team to someone else, and Lance Stroll will probably go along with it. And wherever Daddy Stroll goes, Mr.
Lancelot.
Yeah, Mr. Lancelot will follow.
Every sport's got to have a Nepo baby. I mean, come on.
Well, unfortunately, I was gaslit into liking this team, and for some reason, I was just like, all right, yeah, green team, yeah, that seems pretty cool. Fernando's pretty funny. different? No, this Canadian's really dumb and I hate him. But anyways, regardless, let's talk about this. Trey, you're a Red Bull fan. Mark, you are a Mercedes fan. Based on the performance of last year, how do you think your team will perform in 2025?
I think it's kind of a big question mark for both of our teams, honestly. Completely new driver lineups. You have a experienced returning guy, but you also have the new rookie. I mean, Lawson has some experience under his belt, but never at that much pressure. So it's hard to tell. I think Verstappen will be a championship contender. Even if the car is the third best again, I still think that his expertise and driving ability is going to put him in the fight. I'm hesitant to say that, yeah, he's going to walk away with his fifth title, but it's manageable and it could be done. The big thing for Red Bull is, can they get back in the constructors' fight, having new blood in the seat? Because, man, Checo was dreadful last year, to say the least. And putting Lawson in the seat, I don't know if he would have been my first choice, but they are clearly confident in him. He's ran well in Super Formula and even ran DTM for a little bit, I think. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but either way, he has plenty of experience in other series now. He, of course, has those several starts under his belt for Visa Cash App Racing Bulls, as they said on the presentation. Get it right, guys. It's going to be interesting to see. I think McLaren and Ferrari are the two teams to beat, but I still believe that Red Bull is going to be a contender and win a lot of races.
Mark?
Trey makes a really, really good point of just being nervous about the new guy coming in. At least Trey has Liam Lawson, who's not exactly a rookie, and he's been a reserve driver for some time. Whereas Kimi is coming in and he is fresh from F2, and his test drives from last season weren't looking great. I mean, he put up good times this season. Thankfully, I think he got enough time behind the new W16.
I think you're right. Are you talking about the model of the car?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Mercedes from last year.
The Mercedes, we'll call it the Mercedes.
Yeah. I think it was a W16. I think you are correct on that. I will continue on your thing. I'm gonna fact check that.
Okay. But I mean, George Russell and Max Verstappen also with this seems like a new rivalry, just with a little bit of hate and a little bit of distaste for each other, which that would be interesting between the two teams. But I think the thing to look out for with Mercedes is they learned from last year and they figured out what made them faster and what made them more of a competitor. And I think that they have the ability I think they're going to win some races, or they're going to be on podium. I think we're going to be I think we could fight for constructors if Kimi and George don't clash at each other, but also they need to not crash.
Right.
And so we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see how they develop with all their relationship, especially. But I think Mercedes could be really good. I think it's also something you could look for, just for seasons to come. Where I think if this either starts a new friendship or if it starts a new inner team rivalry, I think that we'll see how it plays out, because Kimi is just Toto's Project Verstappen. They're trying to make their own. I think each team is trying to get their own little Verstappen by getting a rookie out as fast as possible, forcing them into the stardom and all these different things. I know Verstappen's also a very good driver, and he's kind of a savant with his abilities, and so we'll have to see if people can step up to that. But yeah, I'm also keeping eyes on Ferrari just because I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan, obviously, and I kind of want to see how they're going to do this season. But you have to wait and see, and I think someone to watch out for is Lewis Hamilton with the speed of that Ferrari. I think he wasn't able to have that competitive edge last year, and with the Mercedes as much, and so I'm kind of hoping that this year with the Ferrari, and I know having a teammate like Charles Leclerc might inspire him to be a little bit more, I don't know, aggressive, a little more out there with his driving, like he did when he started at Mercedes and everything like that. Maybe bring back a young Hamilton, which could bring an 8th championship. So I think just watching all around, I think I'm excited to see what Mercedes does, but at the same time, like you said, I think McLaren and Ferrari are definitely those top two dogs, and especially with the driver duos that both of them have, I think it's going to be tough to see these like our teams, especially put in a fight for maybe even third.
Right. I mean, you talk about Lewis Hamilton going into that Ferrari, who has kind of made a comeback as of recent years. F1 in the past 2 years have been sort of dominated by, Red Bull and Mercedes, obviously. But now we're seeing a new page being flipped in very, very rapid succession, actually. The past, go back maybe a year or two ago, and it was, like I said, it was Mercedes and it was Red Bull. But now you're seeing McLaren and you're seeing Ferrari, and now the teams of yesteryear, they're battling for third, they're battling for fourth, and unfortunately, for my team, Aston Martin, they are behind that giant gap between fourth and fifth. They're down there with Visa Cash App RB and Kick Sauber and Williams and everyone else. But Williams might actually be pretty good. Has to. Williams might be pretty good too with Carlos Sainz in one of the seats with Alex Albon. That'll be very interesting to see, because now you have a really, really good Spaniard and you have a really, really good Thai driver, and they're both good in their own aspects. Now they're in the same similar machinery, and that'll be interesting to watch. Going into the season. But going back to Aston Martin, they are in an elusive club. We will talk about that later on in the show. But, the sky's the limit for Aston Martin, because, Adrian Newey is there designing the cars, and that will be probably into effect next season in 2026. But looking at these, the front runner teams, the top four teams of Formula One at the current moment: McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes. I think the most flawed of the four of them, and we'll go around the table, discussing this. But honestly, this was something that I have been thinking about for the past, 3 or 4 weeks. But I think of those four teams, trust me, this is not a shot at you or Sam, Trey, but I think the most flawed team out of the four of them is, in fact, Red Bull. Mercedes is, I mean, Mark was pumping his fist in the air, but I don't think he has room to celebrate too much there, because
not too
yes,
much.
Mercedes didn't have a great car last year, but they had great drivers. And now you have Kimi Antonelli in that spot. And you have George Russell taking in that Lewis Hamilton spot. He's taking Kimi under his wing. And now Lewis Hamilton goes to Ferrari. But looking at Mercedes, they were just a car issue. And I think their drivers are really, really, really good. The thing for Red Bull is the fact that they have Max Verstappen at the one car spot, and that might sound like a counterintuitive statement, but let me back you up on this. Red Bull has been dominant for God knows how long, for the past, point to any number of fingers on both hands, and that amount of years is probably true. However, that reason is because of Mr. Verstappen at the helm of that team alongside Sergio Perez. But
I wouldn't say just them. You also have to go back to Vettel and those guys in that time. What Sebastian Vettel brought up, Verstappen in his early years and everything.
Right.
He was competing, and I think they've been dominant for very long, and they're dominating just as long as Mercedes have been for the last 10 plus years.
Right.
And so I think that's just something where it's Red Bull has not been bad since they first came into the sport,
True. And that's a good point. I think I should probably restate what I'm trying to say, and that's pretty much saying ever since Max Verstappen was in a Red Bull spot, they have been really, really good. I think he is just too good of a driver, because look at, prime example, if you look at Mercedes, they have a bad car. They have good drivers. Their performance is so-so. So they know they have good drivers, so they can work on the car. That is a good issue. If you look at Red Bull, Max Verstappen is so good that he can just work around the flaws of the car. So he's basically the cars are formed around his style, and the potential flaws in the car's systems he works around, which actually says more about Max. And it's weird to think about, but Max Verstappen is, I think he's slowly chipping away at the dexterity is not the right word, but the integrity of that team, because the team is just putting the same car on the track and expecting Max to drive it expertly, and he does. But going into the future, Max is going to get older. You have you get new blood in the seats. Liam Lawson is in that realm of Red Bull. Every now and then he was a reserve driver for a long time, and he has been in that machinery every now and then. But I think in the coming years you're going to see Red Bull start to fall off, just because Max Verstappen was that good, and because they knew that they were winning with Max. They didn't change anything in the car, because the mindset is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you're winning championships, why fix anything if your driver is that good? And that's why I think Red Bull is the most flawed out of the four top runners of the sport. And like I said, it might sound very counterintuitive, but I think it's not a shot at at Trey or Sam, but that's just how I've sort of been looking at it. But Trey, I want to get your thoughts on that.
I kind of see where you're coming from. I mean, it's been pretty clear the last couple of years the car's been geared toward Verstappen, and you talk about him getting old or whatever. I think he honestly just pulls a Kimi Räikkönen and gets bored and leaves before he is old. I mean, obviously Kimi came back, but I think Max is more interested in sim racing GT cars than racing F1 half the time. But I agree with a lot of your points, honestly. There's some uncertainty. I mean, you have probably the best driver in the world on the team, but if you keep building a car meant for him, you're not going to have that number two guy that can give input regardless of who it is. Obviously, Checo was a longtime veteran who had been on a bunch of different teams before, and now you're throwing a rookie up there. You don't have that second guy regardless if a car is geared toward one person when you're making it for two. So I see a lot of your points. For this year, my answer would be Mercedes, and it's not because of the car, and it's not because of George Russell. It's because of the unknowns of Antonelli.
Really?
It's been 18 years, 2007, since, oddly enough, Lewis Hamilton, since we've seen a rookie in such a high-profile ride. And, I mean, this is sink or swim. Yeah. Obviously, he has the talent. He's been through all the junior series and flew through them, but it's a different animal when you have to say, hey, you're casually replacing possibly the greatest F1 driver of all time. Good luck, kid. And throwing him to the wolves right away. And I think that he could perform well, but sometimes throwing guys to the wolves doesn't work regardless of whatever motorsport. The good thing about it is they haven't said he's the next so-and-so. I think that moniker always fails. I was chatting with some of my buddies in Discord about something NASCAR thing, because there's this prospect called Corey Day. He's a dirt car driver, and everybody's saying he's the next Kyle Larson, and he's been pretty mediocre in his starts. And I'm thinking, every time somebody gets the label of the next so-and-so, the next Kyle Larson, or years ago, the next Jeff Gordon, it sets them up for failure. So I think that not giving Kimi some kind of label and saying he's the next Lewis Hamilton is better for him, but it's still a very high-pressure situation, and who knows what could happen there.
It takes off that pressure of living up to the expectations of your former talent.
Yes.
I think that's a very, very good point. But Mark, of the four top runners of F1 at the current moment, which team do you think is the most flawed?
Of the top four, Driver relationship wise, I would have to say McLaren.
Really?
Um, yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but I think Oscar Piastri and Lando just built a divide between the two last season, with Lando going for the chip where Oscar had to give up positions, he had to protect all the time. And I'm hoping maybe they fixed it over the winter break and everything and figured out what so they don't clash. But I have I just have a strong feeling that they still have beef with each other. Um, and like you said, no dig at Trey and Sam here, but yeah, the car has not been there for Red Bull in the last 2 years. Yes, Verstappen was able to compete and everything, but that was also because of his talent. And I think the big thing you have to look at is losing Adrian Newey for one thing is really tough. But that was also losing Adrian Newey after he was already developing the cars and all these different things. And I think they have you're going to see the hints of Adrian Newey still in this car, but I think the big thing you're going to still notice is that it's still a flawed car. I think because the engineers couldn't just push it anymore. And I think that if I had to go with it, um, I just think Red Bull it's not going to have the car that's going to be able to keep up. I totally agree with Trey though with the rookie fact of it, where Kimi Antonelli is unknown. But at the same time, the unknown can lead to a Lewis Hamilton season where he almost won the championship in his rookie season. You don't know what you're getting with these rookies anymore. There's guys you could pull from F3 that could beat out any of the current rookies because he just had a better day. You got Ollie Behrman who came in that Ferrari. That Ferrari is a fantastic car. Now, we don't know how Haas is going to do with him. It's Ferrari engine and everything like that, but that's not the same engineers. It's not all the money that you get for being in Ferrari. And I think, yes, you have the rookie factor, but I think the rookie factor has been toned down now, especially because of just all their simulator time. I think the chances they get going into the F1 cars, I think Red Bull just has the flaw in the car. I think you're going to see Verstappen still win races this season. You're still going to see him in the top group. I just don't think Lawson's going to be there. I think Lawson's not going to be able to use the performance that Verstappen could use, whereas like Lawson may be struggling with that performance in the car, you know?
Yeah, no, it all kind of makes sense with that, and you know, this is like, I mean, like I said, it's something that I've been thinking about for the past 3 weeks or so. But I think Red Bull, I think they need to start fixing some things, especially since as you said, Mark, Adrian Newey is no longer with Red Bull, and I think they have about a year to figure out their car, figure out their situation until the 2026 new FIA regulations come out, and they need to sort of bring out that new car and still expect to be competitive in 2026, and they've got a year to start planning for that. When Adrian Newey left and went to Aston Martin, I think that they still had the car planned for 2025. I think Red Bull is going to be fine for 2025. And I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if, go forward, 5 or 6 months, and if future Anderson tells me that Max Verstappen had won the Drivers' World Championship, I would say, yeah, that makes sense. He's one of the best drivers on the grid at the moment right now. It's either him or Lewis Hamilton, and I wouldn't be surprised about that. However, I don't think he's going to get much help from Liam Lawson, and that's a real shame because I like Liam Lawson a lot. I like his story. I like how he pretty much played in the background for the entire time he played he drove at AlphaTauri. He subbed in for Danny Ricciardo when he broke his wrist when he was a sub driver for Nick DeVries 2 years ago. I like his story, and I just think that the car is built around Max Verstappen, or it's just so outdated that the car just doesn't have the technical advantages that, say, a McLaren has, or that a Ferrari has, or something like that, or maybe even a Mercedes has, because they're still developing their car, and I think that they might have a better car this year. I think Toto Wolff might whip his engineers into shape coming into next year. But we've talked about the top four teams. Let's look at the other. I can't do math. The other teams, the lower half teams, because usually, going
the other six.
Yeah, the other six. Thank you. I can't do math. That's why I'm a media major.
Yep.
But yeah, but Lane, you go forward, 5 or 6 months, and you usually see a divide. You see the four teams go out in front. They have, by that point, they have 200 points, 150 points, maybe even scratching 100 points. But then the other six, your Aston Martins, your Haas's, your Alpines, your everyone else down there.
We're at 15, baby. Let's go.
Right. They're just barely scratching 20. Out of those 6 teams, I'm not going to answer this because I would be quite biased in this question. But out of those 6 teams, who do you think might surprise you the most?
That is a good question.
Because
I think
go on.
I was like the obvious one you could look at is going to be Williams, because you have 2 very experienced drivers. Williams has got more money since last season, or like the last few seasons, where they weren't dead last or something like that, and they were. Wait, were they?
No, they weren't last year.
No,
they weren't last.
They weren't last.
They were ninth.
They were ninth.
No, Sauber
Okay.
didn't score a point until 2 rounds to go.
Right, and that's the thing where it's like, it comes down to the end where it's like, they don't have the money to develop as quickly, so this season could be a shock where they don't have the money to develop, but they have the potential of having a very good drive because they have 2 experienced drivers. I think the one that will shock people is going to be Haas.
Really?
I think Ollie Behrman's going to be very good. Kevin Magnussen is a very good driver already. Oh, wait, no, he's not on the team anymore. What am I saying?
Magnussen's in WEC. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ocon.
Who's
Esteban
the
Ocon.
second driver? Ocon.
Yeah.
Still a great driver. I think not like prestige or anything like that, but like, you'll definitely see, I think Ollie Behrman's going to be able to do well in a Ferrari engine car.
He's got that experience.
He's got the experience. He's got the power. I think the engineering's a little bit off, but they already were winning or in the top 10 of races last year. They were doing well last year. It's not like they were fighting and struggling all the time for points. I think they only missed the points like 4 or 5 races that I can remember currently on the top of my head. I could be dead wrong. But, I think you have 2 great drivers that have the potential of having a great powertrain, and I think that Haas has only been developing more and better every year. And I think this year you could see them possibly pushing for that 5th place spot. I know that you believe Aston Martin could be that 5th place spot.
Hopefully.
I just think I think Lance Stroll still holds it back. I think the engineering from last year, before Adrian Newey got there, is going to hold Aston Martin back a little bit. I still think they're going to be 6th or 7th, but Fernando Alonso is such a good driver that I think he's going to pull you guys enough into the points that you guys aren't going to be behind a Alpine or a Kick Sauber or, just some of those other smaller teams. I think or Williams, I guess, but it just, yeah, I think that you have to really look at it where it's like, Haas has the potential. The drivers were good, but I think that having young blood in those seats and pushing for everything that they can have, I think that'll show out really well for Haas this season.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Haas has pretty much a new lineup, and you have someone who has experience with that Ferrari engine and Oliver Behrman, and you bring that into a brand new season. You never know what might happen. But Trey, I know you were a little stumped by that question. Do you agree with Mark? Do you want to say Haas as well, or do you have someone else in mind?
No, I wasn't really stumped. I had to think about it for a second, but I was waiting to see what Mark would say a little bit, and the way he was going, I'm like, oh man, he's going to take mine, but he didn't. I do think Haas could have a good year with their new lineup, but mine is going to be Visa Cash App Racing Bulls.
Really? Okay. All right.
We're talking about surprises. I don't think it's going to be a surprise if Williams steps up, like he said, because they have Albon and Sainz, and those guys have won races or scored podiums before. I think the combination of Yuki missing out on the Red Bull seat will make him angry, and usually an angry Yuki drives pretty well, unless they tell him to shut up on the radio. But
FIA is going to get on this year.
Yeah, true.
I think Yuki ran solid last year. I mean, he had a guy at the start of the year who was his teammate who had won a bunch of races before, in Daniel Ricciardo, a guy who had been not quite at the elite level, but still a very good level, winning races and podiums. And quite frankly, Yuki wiped the floor with him. Yeah. I mean, he was untouchable in terms of beating Ricciardo and stuff. And even when Lawson came in, Yuki was still the clear guy. And now you have that guy coming up. I'm really high on Isaac Hadjar. I think he has a lot of talent. He improved massively from his first year of F2s to his second year of F2. And I think throughout the season, maybe not at first, but say after the summer stretch when they have the break in July or August, I think maybe Hadjar starts to really build on what he does in the early part of the season. And I think that the Racing Bulls are going to have a strong year. Plus, it's the 20th year of Toro Rosso / AlphaTauri / RB / Racing Bulls. And I think they could have a breakout year. I mean, they're not going to do anything crazy, obviously, but I think they could fight for 5th or 6th in constructors.
Yeah, I mean, that's another really good point. I like both of these stories here. I personally hope that Aston Martin has more than 20 points this year, and hopefully that he has that most of them are, split between the two drivers. I may not like Mr. Stroll, but please, at least make him be watchable. That's all I care about, okay? I can deal with him being on the team. It's the fact that he's just that bad. Like, Fernando Alonso's back is probably giving out because of the amount of points that he has over Stroll, and Stroll has been with that team for so long.
He did it at Ferrari with Massa. He did it at McLaren with Van Dorn. This is just backpack Fernando Alonso at it again.
Regardless, I don't know. But no, I do think Haas might have a breakout year. The Racing Bulls take, I think that's a really, really good take as well. Williams might also have a really good year as well. You have a really, really good driver in Carlos Sainz. He won a few races last year. And then Alex Albon.
Can't sleep on Williams.
Yeah.
Definitely can't sleep
no,
on
you
Williams.
really can. And, hey, I mean, you never know. They might bring back their legacy because they're one of the older teams on the grid as of right now. But, honestly, looking at all of this, I think we've pretty much talked almost everything. We could cover the F175 live show where they sort of revealed all of the cars' liveries at the same time in sort of like a Vegas Super Bowl kind of reveal party kind of thing. They had a lot of celebrities there.
Before we get to F175, there's just one thing I wanted to say.
Yeah, go on.
You were mentioning Williams could be back and they could start a new legacy. I very much believe that F1 is cycle-based. I think that you can see that everything happens within a 15 to 20-year cycle. I think you can notice McLaren, really good in the 80s. 90s, they fell off. But early 2000s, they came back up. And then they fell off again a little bit and were having issues. And then came back in the late 2010s into the 2020s. Ferrari, 70s, 90s, early 2000s, a little bit early 2000s, then struggle for years. Yeah, a lot of early 2000s, struggle, and now they're back into that top group. They were part of that group just because they were Ferrari, but they were never really you could look at them as contenders. You obviously have Mercedes and Red Bull where they've only been here for how many years, but they're also part of that cycle where you had all these wins with Hamilton until 2020. And then it just kind of started slowing down. Now, maybe the cycle is a little bit different for the younger teams because they have come in and seen the mistakes of teams pass and kind of seen these sort of things. But I mean, Red Bull had a little bit of a down or started out with down, and then they were winning, and then they started down again, and then they're back to winning. I think they're shorter cycles, but like these legacy teams, like McLaren, like Williams, like Ferrari, I definitely would say watch out and just see that cycle of they're going to be climbing back on top of each other, and I think that's where this could be really interesting, where one team could just change their entire cycle of being bad to good because McLaren could take that constructors again and then start on a drivers championship, or Ferrari comes in with two fantastic drivers and goes on that long streak of winning. And I think that's just I think this all works in a cycle, and I think that's something that we maybe just need to watch out for with this upcoming season, because I think especially with the car changes next season, I think it could just you could see giant plays being made and different moves being made just for the future, you know?
So history does repeat itself, you're saying?
Yeah.
Uh,
I fully believe history repeats itself.
well, I mean, hey, Ferrari was, good with Michael Schumacher. Then they fell off with the first, few years with Charles Leclerc, and they figured out when the good times to box are, and then they're out there and with the top, sort of boxing it out with McLaren and Red Bull, was pretty much
The last
killing.
time they had they had a 7-time world champion, and I think that they just needed another one to bring back the legacy of Ferrari.
You know who else they had? Two-time world champion Fernando Alonso with
Oh,
them
my
as well.
mistake. My mistake.
Regardless, uh, so I sort of teased earlier on in the show that I had a little bit of a surprise for you guys.
Okay.
This whole thing, I hope you guys have brought your pen and paper because you guys are about to take a quiz.
Oh, let me
So,
grab some real quick.
so for the past maybe month and a half, I have put together a quiz. For those of you who are listening at home, if you've ever seen the TSN quiz, bar down quiz
Oh God.
series, I've pretty much based it off of that. 20 questions. There is no bonus round in the middle. There are no strikes, so it's pretty much all point
Oh,
based. And actually, earlier on today, I sent a text to Mr. Sam Nichols, and I sent him the questions, and he has his responses as well. So Mr. Sam Nichols is going to be represented
oh,
in this episode as well. So you're gonna
there
you're
we
gonna hear
go.
every single voice here today. Maybe not actual voices, but you're going to hear them today. So 20 questions. I have them here whenever everyone is ready, and then we will say the answer once the question is over. And then people at home, you are more than welcome to play along. Have it be just a answer in your head kind of thing if you're walking to class, or if you're sitting at home with a nice cup of Joe and you want to write it down, send us a picture on the Instagram, Pit to Podium. There you go. There's a
Love to
plug
see it.
for you.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely follow that Instagram at Pit to Podium. IG, is that what that is? I probably should
I
know
think
that.
it's just pit two, the number two, podium, and that's it on Instagram.
Here, let me figure that.
Give
Yeah,
us all of the
Pit.
likes and
Yeah,
comments.
PIT2PODIUM, all one word, and then underscore podcast is that at. So definitely
Yes.
follow that. And hey, if you actually want to send us a picture of your quiz score, we'll give you a shout out and we'll call you the coolest person in the world, because this was just a cool idea that I had that I was watching the bar down quiz a few weeks ago, and I was like, hey, why don't we kick off our thinking about Pit to Podium by or not Pit to Podium, thinking about F1 by doing a little quiz here.
I
Um,
like it. I
so
like it.
yeah, so if everyone is ready, I think we'll just get going here. Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right. So, question number one. So as I should say this beforehand, each of the, like I said, 20 questions. They are broken up into 4 sections, and I will say the section, before that section starts, and each section has a different theme, and each question will follow that theme. So
this is taking me back to my Quiz Bowl days.
yeah. So the first section is current events. So things that are currently happening before the 2025 season. So take the entire episode as a little bit of a study guide, if you will. So the first question, the winter break has been rather long. And while the drivers were on break, some have been up to various antics throughout the world. Some of them were giving us all panic attacks while they were snowboarding and skiing in the mountains. Others were trying, different things, going to different places around the world, traveling, spending time with family. However, for one driver, had something different. This driver took to social media, I believe, in December, and revealed that he and his spouse are about to have a child on the way. Who is that driver? You guys can send me whenever you guys are ready. I'll send you, or you can just tell me whenever you're ready. I'll give you like maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds or so to write down that answer. But a driver posted on Instagram a picture of him and his spouse, and the spouse had a quite large belly, and that only proved something that a new grid member is going to be on the way here in a few months. Very big congratulations to this driver. I will say that once the answer is, done and you guys are over, or I guess you guys have put down your answers. But have you guys finished? Are you guys ready?
I got my answer.
Okay. Trey, what'd you answer?
I'm not confident in this answer. I'm going to say first off, my brain immediately went Max Verstappen, but I was like, he announced that during the season. So I just put a random name on my paper. Pierre Gasly was my quote-unquote answer, more of a guess than anything.
All right. Mark?
Was it Charles Leclerc?
So I might have done my research wrong. I'll give a free point to everyone. You said that Max
Verstappen?
So Max Verstappen posted that picture. I thought that was a reveal photo, but then I remembered that was sort of a thing for a long time. So yes, I'll give everyone a free point. But the answer was...
That's why I was so confused.
Yeah.
I was like, it's Max.
Max, so
announced it.
It was Max. I didn't know if that was a thing. I probably should have done a better journalistic job.
He's expecting a child.
So there will be a new Verstappen on the way. So everyone currently now has one.
You think he's going to be like Yos? You think he's going to be like Yos?
Maybe he might, break that cycle, hopefully.
Fingers crossed, Jesus.
So, round number question number 2. Everyone now has 1 point. So, let's talk about these new kids on the block. There are quite a few of them. So many, in fact, that this year was only a hair short of making history. In 2025, how many rookies are going to be on the grid in their debut as full-time drivers? So not substitute in, if they come into half the season, that doesn't count. The first time they started as a driver, how many drivers are in their first ever rookie seat? That is the question.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Liam Lawson technically came in as a replacement last season.
Yes.
I don't know if we're counting him as a rookie.
He would count as I just said their first time making an appearance from day one, from race number 1.
Okay, from the rip. Okay, got it.
From the very, very, very beginning. So
okay, that makes sense.
Yes. So drivers that come in halfway through the season don't exactly count. If they are new in the season, then that is their full-time driver debut. That is what I mean. I think Trey has...
I'm finally ready. Yes.
Trey has
I
his
had
answer.
an answer, and then I wrote almost everybody's name out on paper. I tried to figure it out. My answer is 6.
6, okay.
Same
Mark,
here,
6. So, I forgot to say Sam's answer from the last question. He answered Hulk, Mr. Nico Hulkenberg.
Not a bad guess.
Not a bad guess for question number 1. But the answer was Max Verstappen on my end. It's kind of wrong on my end. I will take the blame for that one, but everyone has 1 point from that.
You're
but
good.
Mark, you said 6.
Mm-hmm.
Sam wrote back. He said 5 rookies, 6 if you count Liam Lawson as a rookie. Everyone is correct in that answer. 6 drivers. Kimi Antonelli is in Mercedes. Liam Lawson is in Red Bull. Jack Doohan is in Alpine. Ollie Behrman is at Haas. Isaac Hajar is at Racing Bulls. And Gabriel Bodoretto is at Kick Sauber.
Yeah, I forgot Jack Doohan. Sorry, Jack Doohan fans and Alpine people.
All 3 of them. Sorry. All right. So moving on to question number 3. These questions just get harder now, do they? So we were just talking about new faces. Now, drivers who have started on the grid and are no longer with the teams that they started with. So drivers who were in F1 last year and now have moved to a different team. How many drivers have done that? How many drivers have moved teams? How many players got traded in any other sporting term? How about that? So there's been a few. We've talked about pretty much all of them in this episode. Mark just raised his hand.
Did they have to start? Is it similar to the first or the rookie question where did they have to start the season?
They were at one team last year, and they moved this year. So they're wearing different.
Okay.
They're wearing different uniforms now, but they were in F1.
Okay.
So Trey just flashed me something. I couldn't exactly read it. Spinola.
Oh, the Mattia Binotto memes from years ago.
We gotta love it. So, Mark looks like he's very deep in thought.
I'm like debating on what I want to put, and I'm like so nervous. Because it's between one of 2 answers, and I'm really just like.
I completely understand his worry.
So,
I have 3 answers in my head.
I'm going to
Right?
keep score on the good old handy dandy 5-star notebook here. So we got Trey, we got Mark, and then we've got Sam. And at the current moment, everyone has 2 points. And as we are on question 3, and Mark, you look like you have come to your final conclusion.
I think I have it.
All right.
I think I have
So,
it.
Trey, what did you answer?
My answer is 6.
6 drivers that have moved teams. Okay. Mark, what was your answer?
I said 7.
You said 7 new drivers that have moved from team to team. Sam is the only one who got it correct.
Is it 8?
He said 4.
4?
4 drivers have moved teams since last year, and that was Lewis Hamilton from Mercedes to Ferrari, Esteban Ocon from Alpine to Haas, Carlos Sainz from Ferrari to Williams, and Nico Hulkenberg from Kick Sauber from Haas to Kick Sauber. So Sam was the only one that got that correct.
Yeah,
Wait, what about Liam Lawson?
I was going to say,
to Red
that's
Bull?
how I wasn't.
Liam
sure.
Lawson wasn't exactly a starter from the
makes
beginning.
sense. Yeah,
But-
I screwed that up myself.
Well, you said that it was just they raced for a different team. And you didn't say it starts, so that's where I think I got messed up.
Okay, so
I think he mentioned, I don't know. I thought he mentioned starter at one point, but I don't know.
okay,
I counted
Oh,
Behrman
sure.
and
That's
Lawson,
why
but it's
I
all
tried
right.
to clarify. Yeah,
All right.
I counted some extras, so that's on me.
All right. So question number 4, we are away from that kind of question. So Sam is currently in the lead with 3 points. Everyone else is down 1. So question number 4. For the past 3 years, the F1 podium has ended up being soaked in Ferrari Tenno sparkling white wine. However, as of February 5th, 2025, this famous brand will soak the podium once again as they did in the past. What is this brand? And I was going to say how long were they going to, soak the podiums for, but they're going to soak the podiums for the next 10 years. What is that champagne brand?
Okay, so it's a champagne brand. Okay.
So
I have to think of champagne brands. Shoot.
Yeah, so I was doing research for this, and this had just came out, and I'm like, you know what? That's actually quite interesting because, earlier on, it was a Ferrari brand. No, I think it was related to the car brand. It might have been. I think we talked about that in an earlier episode of Pit to Podium. I don't remember what episode it was. But something along these lines, I'll say here to fill in the dead air. Tag Heuer has now took over the official timekeeping sponsorship for F1 over Rolex. That was something to kind of take over, and that is a Red Bull sort of representation.
No more Rolex Australian Grand Prix.
Yeah. So I wonder what that actually is.
I mean, I guess.
It is the Formula One Louis Vuitton Australian Grand Prix 2025.
LV.
Yeah, all the trophy cases are now Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, look at that. Moving up in the world. I mean, moving up in the world.
I'm going to celebrate the new sponsorship by buying a Louis bag.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, so we are just about wrapping up here. Trey.
I think I saw an article about this.
Yeah. So Trey, what did you say?
Well, I'm not really up on my champagne brands, but the thing that came to mind, because of oddly enough a Fernando Alonso connection, was Chandon.
Chandon, okay. Mark, how about you?
Chandon.
Chandon, okay.
Oh.
So Mark, so they both said Chandon. Sam said Red Bull sparkling wine. It is none of these, so no one gets a point here. It is Moet and Chandon. So like
that's Chandon.
Oh, that is Chandon. Okay, so yes, you did get so Moet and Chandon. Yes, for some, I took 1/4 of French in middle school. I can't read French, so yes.
No, I hear you.
So Trey and Mark both get a point here to make it all tied up at 3 points.
I just want to quickly shout out my 8th grade Spanish 1 year where we didn't have a permanent teacher and we were learning Christmas carols in French at the end of the first semester.
You gotta love it. All right, so I'm gonna keep a timer here. So I'm gonna put 30 seconds on the clock so you guys won't.
Mark, if you can hear me, just like give a thumbs up or something when you're finished, so we know.
Well, I can hear
I'll
you.
do that
I
in
can
studio.
hear you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I figured.
I'll just have a timer here, so I'll keep it there. But anyways, so question number 5. Due to the amount of changes in roster since last year, all but 2 teams have different lineups. For what they did last year, I'm not sure what I was on about there, but what are these 2 teams that have the exact same lineup as last year? 30 seconds starts now. So the clock is ticking, and Trey looks like he is deep in thought. Mark is also deep in thought.
I got it.
And he has gotten it.
Yeah, I got my answer down as well.
All right. So I'm assuming we won't have to. We got 10 seconds left, and Mark is just good. All right. He is ready. 30 seconds are up. So, Trey, what did you answer?
My answers were McLaren and Aston Martin.
Okay.
Same.
And
right there. Yep.
Sam said the exact same thing, so that is points all around. Unfortunately, the same lineup for Aston Martin goes into 2025. That is exactly what I said here on my notes. I have the question, and then it just says McLaren and Aston Martin, and then in parentheses, unfortunately. So now we have just finished up
444.
We have finished up the current events section of this quiz, and now we're going to go into the next segment, which might be quite fun. It is the memes section. Formula One is nothing without its plethora of memes. How'd you like that use of terminology? I love the word plethora. Shout out my AP Human Geo teacher, Mr. Self, who loved the word plethora. So, question number 1 in the memes category. Fernando Alonso is my favorite driver. That's no secret. Despite him being a total meme lord, just every second of every day, there could have been so many questions based on this whole section could have been about Fernando Alonso, but I didn't.
I was about to say, you didn't do that? I was like, you could have just gone full bias and just gone full Fernando section.
I could have, but I didn't, so thank me for that. Anyways, there is one particular incident that holds a special place in my heart, I think. In 2017, when Fernando Alonso was with McLaren, he had a very love-hate relationship with a certain engine. During the Spanish Grand Prix, what did Fernando Alonso sarcastically say to express his love to this engine? 30 seconds starts now. So, this question will have a little bit of leeway. I'm not going to get the exact quote, but if it's something along the lines and I sort of think it's quite acceptable, I'll take it. For those of you listening at home, if it's anything close, you can definitely give yourself a point for that one. We've got 5 seconds left.
Trey, do you know this one?
I mean, we're going to find out.
I have no clue.
So, 30 seconds is up. Trey, what did you answer?
The engine feels great, much slower than before.
Okay, that was a very good Fernando Alonso impression. I'm very proud of that.
I tried.
Mark, what'd you answer?
It was sarcastically saying that it was faster. That's like I didn't know the exact quote. I was just like,
yeah. So that I'll give. So,
I'll take
Sam,
a half point on that one. I know I didn't get the quote.
No, you're fine. Sam just said Honda. And I'm like, you know what? That's fine because there were 2 acceptable answers in this I put in my notes. And the exact quote was, the engine feels good, much slower than before, amazing. And later on in that same clip, he just says GP2, engine 2, GP2, and then he just goes, so
race.
I will give everyone a point.
Even if we had a rocket ship, we would still be P15.
So that's pretty much. I think everyone got.
There were so many good Alonso quotes.
Yes,
there are so many good Alonso quotes. I was off mic. It's unreal.
And
all the time you have to leave a space.
And like I said, I could fill this entire section up with Fernando Alonso quotes, but I didn't. So, question 2 of the memes section of this Formula One Pit to Podium quiz. I hope everyone is having fun with this. In 2019, Charles Leclerc had a small incident while qualifying for a race. 1 year later, during COVID, he recreated this during a Twitch stream. At which track did Leclerc make this infamous blunder? And what did he say in 2019 to boost this to meme status?
Well,
30 seconds starts. This is a 2-parter. So
the racetrack is the thing that's killing me.
So
I know the quote.
So there's 2 points up for grabs in this question because there's 2 parts. I asked where the blunder took place and what the quote was. So you can sort of cut your losses halfway through as we got 10 seconds left in the answering process of.
Is this a 2-point question or a 1-point question?
It's a 2-pointer. So if you have
each part is worth a point. The track and then the quote.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So
just had to clarify.
Yep. All right, Trey, what did you say?
For my track, my answer is Baku, aka the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Okay.
My quote is, I am stupid.
Okay. Mark, what did you answer?
Same. I am stupid.
The same thing. And
Yeah. And
Sam
Baku.
did the same thing. It was at turns 10 or 9 and 10
He's
in
pulling
that
out the
very
turns, yes.
little narrow turn. I think the hardest little bit of any Formula
It
1
is
track.
torture on the F1 video games.
Absolutely.
I
who
hate it
is
so
kinda
much.
mid.
So that everyone got it correct. So everyone here is at 7 points. Trey, Mark, and Sam are in the running for with 7 points.
In honor of Kimmy.
So, question number 3 in this meme section. In the 2017 Hungarian Grand Prix, Nico Hülkenberg and Kevin Magnussen had an altercation on track. During lap 64, the Haas of Magnussen and the Renault of Hülkenberg were heading into turn 2 of the Hungarian Grand Prix, and Kevin would push Nico wide off the track, causing some tempers to flare up. After the race, K-Mag interrupted Hulkenberg's press conference and caused Hulk to say this legendary line. So this is a one-pointer question. There is just a one quote. It was a small altercation between Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg after the 2017 Hungarian Grand Prix.
Future teammates. I love how racing works.
Yes, future teammates. A few years later after this incident happened. So 10 seconds remain after, I think everyone is ready after this. Trey, what was your answer?
Suck my balls.
Yes. And Trey, Mark?
Oop, my bad. I have to bleep that one.
No, you're good.
I said good race. I had no clue. I was like trying to
Really?
think back to Drive to Survive. I was like, is it in there? I was trying to no, I had no clue. I forgot that one. Damn.
Really? Okay. So Mark drops one because Sam said, "Suck my balls, mate." That was the line. As there are some people out there in the press room or in the conference room. So question 4 of this meme section. Oh boy, I don't want that on my phone. So before the 2014 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, German journalist Walter Koester asked this legendary question. Gentlemen, a short view back to the past. 30 years ago, Niki Lauda told us, take a monkey, place him into the cockpit, and he is able to drive the car. 30 years later, Name told us, I had to start my car like a computer. It's very complicated. And Name said during the race, I don't remember what race, he pressed the wrong button on the wheel. Question for you both. Is Formula 1 driving today too complicated with 20 or more buttons on the wheel? Or are you too much under pressure? What are your wishes for the future considering the technical program during the race? Less buttons, more or less, and more communications with your engineers. I took that from the Formula 1 transcript, so that was the actual little thing. I wasn't going to do a German accent because no. This German journalist, Walter Koester, who was that question for? This is a two-parter question because there are two drivers in this question, and this was quite a fiasco when it happened after one of the practice sessions before the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in 2014, wrapping that season up with 20 seconds remaining in this question. Mark looks like he's gotten the answer. He's writing it down furiously on his piece of paper. He needs these points. Trey has a thumb up. He is ready for this question. Mark has given me the thumbs up. So we're ready. Trey, who did he ask this question to?
I'm confident in part of my answer.
Okay.
I said that he was asking this question to Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton.
Okay. Mark?
I am confident in this one. It's Sebastian Vettel, but instead, Nico Rosberg.
Okay. and Sam just told me Vettel ? And while he is correct, Sebastian Vettel was involved in this question. Mark gets 2 points in this question as he got Nico Rosberg in this question. So everyone is tied at 9 apiece.
The Monaco-based YouTuber Nico Rosberg.
True. So question number 5, the last question in this section. Prior to the 2024 Saudi Arabia Grand Prix, then Ferrari driver Carlos Sainz was in hospital. This allowed rookie sensation Oliver Behrman to see his first ever race at the F1 level. Meanwhile, Sainz was undergoing a smooth operation. See what I did there? There you go. The next week in Australia, Sainz would go on to win that Grand Prix the next week, leading a few people to believe that his few ounces lighter helped him win the race. So what was his weight reduction modification, as people have called it? And I just want to say throughout this entire broadcast, there has been a buzzing every now and then. This isn't crazy on your end. We hear it in the studio, and if you don't hear it on the thing or on the recording, we sound crazy. But it's been driving me insane all day. But that is that. 30 seconds is just about to end. Trey is giving me a thumbs up, and Mark is looking at me very, very confused. Trey, what was your answer?
If I remember correctly, he had his appendix removed.
Okay. And Mark, what was your answer?
Similar to Trey's answer, but I said kidney.
You said a kidney, okay. And Sam said appendix removal. Mark drops a point once again. It was his appendix. Fun fact, me and Carlos Sainz have something in common. We no longer have our appendixes. Yeah, that's something you didn't know about me, is it?
I think I was mixing it up because Carlos Sainz had kidney cancer at one point. So.
Yeah, that's true. So that does it for the memes section. We are officially halfway through this quiz.
That was a very enjoyable category.
Yeah, I thought we would have a very enjoyable time with that. But we're moving into the nicknames part section of this quiz. So, question number 11 total of this quiz. Quite neck and neck, actually. This is actually closer than I thought it would be. There have been a lot of drivers in Formula One's history, and a lot of them have nicknames. These nicknames can come from various different places: teammates, rivals, the press. But only a handful of these nicknames have been given out by royalty. How many F1 drivers have the name Sir in front of their name? So I'm going to start the 30 seconds now. 30 seconds are counting. So, you know of one. We've talked about him a lot. But there are a few more. In actuality, I thought it was just this one that we all know we're talking. I'm not going to give the answer just yet. But I was decently surprised to know that there are a few more drivers who have been knighted, and the 30 seconds have just expired. So Trey, give me your answer.
My answer was, we didn't have to name the drivers, just the amount, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I went with 2. So you saying there was a few more is a little worrying to me right now.
Okay. I mean, you never know. I could have just said that just to throw you off. But Mark, what was your answer?
I actually have it. Hold on, I have to finish writing the names of the drivers.
Okay.
It's Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
Sir Sterling Moss, Sir Jack Brabham, and Sir Jackie Stewart.
Wow. Yeah, that is correct. Sam said 3.
Wow.
So Mark is down to now has the same amount of points, and I'm sort of tempted to give you a bonus point for that because I wasn't I wasn't expecting you.
Come on.
All right, you know what? Yeah, I'm giving you a bonus point. So now Mark is in the lead. Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, Sir Lewis Hamilton got knighted in 2020. Sir Jackie Stewart got knighted in 2001. Sir Sterling Moss, I should say, the year prior in 2000, and Sir Jackie Bribham. Sorry, my tongue. Yeah.
Burbham, whatever.
Yeah,
Brabham.
was the first in
Brabham.
1978.
Yeah, Jackie Stewart was the other one I knew for sure. I didn't. 4.
Yeah, so there were
Interesting.
4 total drivers who have been knighted. Mark
I was
in
a
the
little
lead
bit
now.
nervous because I thought Nigel Mansell might have been, but then I realized he wasn't.
Nigel
He's just
Mansell.
very.
Yeah. All right. So question
Very fit.
number 2. Question number 12 total in this quiz of 20. During the 2023 Australian Grand Prix, Alpine teammates Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly had quite a violent crash coming into turn 2. What historical event was this crash named after?
Repeat the question.
Okay, so during the 2023 Australian Grand Prix, Alpine teammates Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly had quite a violent crash coming into turn 2 of that race. This crash was given the nickname of this historical event. What historical event was this crash named after? So you have 2 teammates on Alpine, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, coming into a quite a violent crash. Actually, I watched it a few times, coming in doing research for this. So, we're going to sort of finish this up. And I think Mark has, or I think Mark.
I mean, I put an answer down, but I have
All right,
no clue.
so I'll be a little lenient on this because people have different little things for this. But Trey, what did you answer?
Oh, it wasn't my first thought, and I didn't write my first thought down because I don't know. I just, but I went with the Titanic crashing into an iceberg. So I just wrote Titanic on my paper.
Okay.
I wasn't sure where to go.
Mark?
So my answer that I am giving is Titanic. I'm saying with Trey here. My other guess was Hindenburg, but I won't take points if that's the right answer.
Okay, so Sam just said don't know for this one. This one might have just been me, but this one has been named the French Revolution or the French Civil War because
That's a good one.
Both drivers were French.
Okay, I was thinking of knowing people on the internet. I was thinking we were going to go a much sadder route.
No, it was the fact that both of these drivers were French and they collided and they didn't.
Gotcha.
France just seems to like to go to war with itself for fun, almost on their free time. So this next question.
We can't say anything. We had a civil war.
Well, I mean, I guess that's true, but they've had a few. But anyways, the third question on this nicknames section. In 2006, future world champion and now race analyst Nico Rosberg was teamed up with Mark Webber at Williams. Webber gave Nico a nickname that stuck through the years. Actually, it's still sort of follows him around every now and then, and it was referenced in birthday songs. It was referenced in a Grill the Grid episode, and even F1 Juniors. What was this nickname that Mark gave Nico, and what was the reason? So this is a 2-parter question. So it'll be 2 points up for grabs. 30 seconds will start now. Just try to take a look of what these 2 drivers look like and maybe what they have looked like back in 2006. That might give you a little bit of a hint.
Pays off being a Mercedes fan here.
True. Okay, so that might come back and
fan.
Oh, there you go. So Trey,
I was in a blank for a solid minute. If I'm wrong, I'm pissed.
I don't know this at all, so I'm just watching my points stay on 10 for like the 4th question in a row.
Mark,
I just said that his nickname is Nicole, and I didn't write a reason down. I thought of one in my head, but it's not quite PG.
Okay. Mark?
It's a good guess with Nicole. It's a
What?
female name.
Yes, it is a female name.
Brittany.
And the reason?
He looked like Britney Spears, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. And Sam
I think
just
that's the
says
reason.
just says don't know. But yes, the answer is Brittany. And
Okay.
it's because of his long blonde hair, making him look like pop star Britney Spears. Shout out to my dad who
I wonder
has
if he was singing
a,
"Baby One More Time" in Spain 2016
What?
when him and Lewis were spinning
Would've
through the
loved it.
gravel. Oh, baby, baby.
Shout out to John Hartlove, my dad. He absolutely loves Britney Spears.
Shout
He
out.
loves some Spears. He loves
Yeah.
he loves to jam out to some Britney.
Loves jamming out to Britney Spears.
White girl music is elite.
So,
Just gotta hit
question
him
number
one more
4.
time.
During the opening lap of the 2016 Chinese Grand Prix, Sebastian Vettel was attacked by a torpedo. He was, as he called it. After the race, this Red Bull driver was nicknamed the Torpedo. Who am I talking about? 30 seconds will start now, actually. Not now, but now. So, who...
What year did you say?
2019. No, 2018. 16, sorry. 2016, that is the year. During the Chinese Grand Prix. So, who has the nickname the Torpedo? So, they've given me the thumbs up, so we're just going to skip the rest of the seconds. So, Trey, what was your answer?
We are so back. I was just thinking before walking to the studio how much I miss this man in F1. None other than Daniel Kvyat.
Okay. And
What?
Mark,
Nope.
what was your
Danny Rick.
answer?
I said Danny Rick.
You said Danny Rick, okay. And
Yeah.
Sam said Daniel Kvyat. So both Sam and Trey get correct answers here.
If you weren't watching Kvyat Russian hard bass memes in high school, what were you doing with your life?
So the
This
Red
isn't
Bull
fair, the Red Bull fans.
the Red Bull fans are sort of coming back here. It looks like 2020. The Mercedes is out in front, and the Red Bull's coming back. So the final question in this nicknames category. Here we go. Yes. So Lando Norris at this point in time has 4 wins under his belt. However, after he made his debut in 2019, Norris would go 110 races until his first ever win in Miami 2024. During this time, Lando earned himself the rather dubious nickname Lando No Wins. Who gave him that nickname? The 30 seconds starts now, so start thinking about who Lando was sort of friends with, sort of going around in that time period. It was sort of a recent thing, and they both give me their thumbs up. So, Trey, what was your answer?
Not quite sure, but my answer on my paper is Carlos Sainz.
Okay, Carlos Sainz. Mark, what was your answer?
I said Max Verstappen because I knew they were friends.
Okay, Max Verstappen. Sam said George Russell, and no one gets a point here
Oh,
because the answer,
Ooh.
must have been Danny Rick.
it was Lando himself. He gave him that nickname. He gave himself
Okay.
the nickname Lando No Wins, and I believe he started selling merchandise with Lando No Wins on it as well, if my research serves me right. So, as it stands right now, Mark is in the lead with 13 points, but Trey and Sam are right behind with 11 points, respectively. So we're going into the last 5 questions, and this section I have just said these are just really, really cool questions that I liked about F1. So this is just a random category. I will go anywhere that I want. And funny enough, none of these questions are about Fernando Alonso. I've kept that bias out
Wow.
there, so you guys should be proud of me. All right, so question number 1. Question number 16 of this 20-question quiz, so we're just getting by. So, question number 1. During the 2021 Monaco Grand Prix, there was a mishap with Valtteri Bottas's pit stop. where a drill man accidentally stripped the bolt on the front right wheel so they couldn't get the wheel off, forcing Mr. Bottas to retire from the race. It was a while before they got the wheel actually off of the car. So how long was that pit stop effectively? Pretty much saying they stripped the wheel, and how long did it take them to take this wheel off? So pretty much this is asking what was the absolute longest pit stop in Formula One history. So Trey has got his answer down, and Mark is looking very confused.
Are we giving an exact time or like a general time?
General time, sort of. So 5 seconds are up, and the timer has ended as you hear a little bit of my ringtone in the background. All right, Trey, what was your answer?
Another question I'm not super confident in. I just said, since it was question number 16, 16 minutes.
All right. Mark, what was your answer?
I don't know why. I said 1.5 hours, basically just the entirety of the race, and they just I don't know, they just kind of left it on. They couldn't get it off the entirety of the race. That was my guess.
All right. Sam said
Dead wrong.
Said 1:10 minutes. I don't know if that's an hour and 10 minutes, but effectively this
I think
pit
that's
stop
hour 10.
Probably, but this pit stop was at 42 hours. They did not get that thing off for another 42 hours.
God.
So we are a little crunched for time here because
incredible.
the PRT boys are about to record here. Quinn has texted
Rapid
me.
fire. All right.
So
17.
in the 2010 film Iron Man 2, there was a scene where the main character, Tony Stark, races in a famous Formula One track. On which track did Stark drive in, and what race did he participate in? I'll give you a few seconds. Mark had instantly given me a thumbs up. So there are 2 questions on 2 points on the table. Mark, you were first. What was your answers?
Wait, there's 2 points?
Technically, because I asked 2 questions, but
So Monaco and the Monaco Grand Prix?
so you get the 1 question. Or the 1 answer, because it was the Monaco the Monaco track. Oh, Trey, what was your answers?
It was not that. I'm not a Marvel movie watcher, so I guessed Monza and the Italian Grand Prix.
So it was Monaco and the historic Monaco Grand Prix.
Oh.
So Mark
old car
gets
races.
1 point, and Sam.
Yeah, I said Monaco and Monaco Grand Prix.
But it's the historic Grand Prix.
The one with the older
sorry, I
generation.
have to say the historic.
It's different. It's different. So
Boy, I'm trash right now.
So Sam told me Monaco Grand Prix and the historic Monaco track and the historic Grand Prix.
You're kidding me. He knew that?
Yeah. So number 3, in 2012, the reigning world champion Sebastian Vettel was looking to start his three-peat. However, after round 2 in Malaysia, Seb finished P11 behind the likes of Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, and Michael Schumacher. Vettel was rather displeased and called Indian driver Narain Karthikeyan this rather harsh insult. So I'm going to give you a few seconds. We've got just about 10 minutes left, and we've got just about 2 questions remaining in this quiz. Mark is looking very, very confused, and you're going to be as confused when I say this answer. But Trey, did you put down an answer?
I do have an answer down, once again, not confident, but I said that he called him a moving chicane.
Okay. Mark?
I got nothing because I was nervous it was going to go racial, and I was like, I really hope that they didn't say something racial.
No, that he did not.
Thank God. Thank God.
Sam said he didn't know, but I find this to be rather funny. But he called him a cucumber.
Cucumber?
A cucumber, yes. So a rather harsh insult, calling a man a cucumber. You don't.
That is 2010 NASCAR Truck Series most popular driver Narain Karthikeyan, ladies and gentlemen. And that is a thing that exists. Yeah, the cucumber apparently.
All right. So with 2 questions remaining, the 2005 U.S. Grand Prix at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway has been known to be one of the most strange races in F1's 75-year history. Only 6 drivers were in this race. Why did this happen? So, we've only got just about 9 more minutes in this segment before we have to ultimately have to leave the studio. But why did this happen, Trey?
The Michelin tires were blowing out and causing crashes. They were not holding up, so Michelin withdrew all their cars from the grid, and only the Bridgestone cars raced because that was back when we had tire wars.
Mark?
Yep.
So yeah, it was determined.
Yep.
It was determined that because of the turn 13 bank at the Brickyard was especially harsh on tires, and because such teams use pretty much the Michelin and Bridgestone wars. I did have this whole thing.
I wish
thing.
we had a bonus questions about the teams and drivers that actually raced because
Yeah.
that would be my only way to make up points right now.
If he wants to answer that, he can answer that. I'm not gonna stop him from doing that. I did it with the saying the 4 drivers. If he can name off all 6.
I'd have to hold on. I'd have to pull this up.
well,
All right, hold on, just 1 second.
All right.
2005.
The fact that Trey knows it, I'd be pretty confident whatever he answers.
Yes, slight time crunch, but all right, you ready?
I have the Wikipedia page up right
okay.
here. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Well, the first 2 are.
Oh yes,
pretty
all
well-known
right.
drivers.
I have it. All right, go.
Michael Schumacher,
Okay.
Rubens Barrichello,
Okay.
Tiago Montero,
Yep.
Narain Karthikeyan,
Yep.
Christian Albers,
Yep.
Patrick Frieshacker.
That's a free point right there.
Let's go.
I'll give it to him.
That's
if he knew those 6, he deserves it.
That's a free point right there, as far as I'm concerned.
Podium finisher Tiago Montero, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it's very, very true.
It was
All right.
hilarious because the video of like Schumi and Barrichello are like, this sucks, and Montero gets the only podium he'll ever get in his life and is just losing his mind,
He's
even though he
absolutely
raced
losing
against
it.
5 other people.
All
What
right.
did Sam say?
Sam, he did not know. Sam genuinely. Oh wait, no. He did know. This was during the tire war with the other drivers. Couldn't race that race, so Sam.
Tire war's pretty notable.
Pretty much. If you said anything along the lines of tire wars and anything else like that, I'll give it to you.
Gotcha.
But Trey, you named that. I'll give you as many points
Thank
because
you.
that was impressive. I didn't have that in my notes. Anyways, so last
one.
question. Leading in to this. Ahead of the 2019 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, the Ferrari pit crew were late on bringing out one of their cars onto the track. While they were scrambling to get their car to the grid, the driver noticed that they were missing 2 important items. What was the driver, and what were the 2 items he was missing? So, you got 3 points up for grabs in this question. And Trey
What year did you say again?
It was 2019.
Okay.
Okay, so he is giving me a thumbs up. This is the last question. All right. So, Trey, what was your answer?
Well, I'm not quite sure it was 2019, but the example I'm thinking of is the driver Kimi Räikkönen was saying, "Hey, gloves and steering wheel, give it to me."
Okay, Mark, what was your answer?
I said Kimmy.
Okay.
I only was able to say steering wheel. I did not know the other.
Okay, and Sam just said gloves and steering wheel. Did not say the driver. But the correct answer was Kimi Räikkönen, and he forgot his gloves and steering wheel.
Give it to me.
So, I will add up these points up now.
Oh, Trey pulls ahead.
5, 10, 15. That's 16 points for Trey. Mark has 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. 16, 17, 18. Yeah, 18. And Sam has 5, 10, 15, 16. So,
I made a valiant comeback considering I was on 11 at question 18.
that's true. So, I had a tiebreaker here, but we don't need it. So, Mark gets the win here at 18 points.
Ooh.
Winning.
Lucky number, baby.
Congratulations.
Winning the first quiz. I hope everyone had fun at home. This has been an extra long episode, but hey, Formula One is back. So is Pit to Podium. We're going to try to do more episodes
We are
here.
so back.
We're back, baby.
Episodes are coming back here in the near future, but this has been we're just going to sort of wrap up here since, there's not much to talk about, and we've sort of done everything we sort of can here to fill out a rather enjoyable episode. I hope everyone had fun with that quiz. But with that, from myself, from Trey, from Mark, and Sam in the Martin Hall studio, we want to say thank you so much for listening to the episode, or to the 16th episode of Pit to Podium here on U92 The Moose, and we want to wish you happy Formula One day. I don't know. Happy race week. There you go.
Welcome back to the season.
Welcome back to the season. Formula One is back, baby. We're gonna have such a great time this season. I hope everyone joins in us when we talk every week, hopefully, and we'll get episodes out when we can. But we want to thank you again for listening to this episode, and you can get all these podcasts on u92themoose.com and Apple Podcasts. So, from all of us, we want to say thank you so much for listening, and go Fernando.